In early Texas history, say 1800s, Texas found itself the place where Mexico had found independence. Or let me put it this way, a very important part of Texas history was the independence of Mexico in 1821. The reason why that was important is because of the fact, as you know, many folks from Mexico had attempted to settle in Texas. They attempted to use the presidio system, which is a military outpost. They attempted to use missions, which is a way to bring the clergy to win the Indians to Catholicism. They attempted to build villages around those presidios and those missions. There was some success, but there were a lot of the presidios that were just kind of falling apart because there were just people leaving. It wasn't as successful as they wanted. So Mexico had a tough decision to make. What do you do with Texas? They are independent. What do you do with that place? Some looked at it as two different ways. One, it could be a frontier, something to still be settled because it was there. They also considered the possibility that it might be a buffer, maybe. And the only problem with that is they found out that people could travel through Texas and they didn't get much opposition. So what happened was they decided that maybe, just maybe, we could have it a place where Americans could move. And that was the idea. How the Americans move in? Well, they liked that idea. And one other thing I might point out to you is this. The missions themselves, because they weren't doing so well, instead of being the religious bulwark that they were supposed to be, it is said that they kind of turned to what's called to be secularized. In other words, the government took over a lot of them, and therefore there wasn't as much religion involved. But that being said, there was still a need to move people to that area, and they wanted to welcome the people who were considered Americans into the area. One way was bringing grants, land grants, offering the opportunity for people to settle. And there was one guy who was really interested in doing something like this. His name was Moses Austin. Let me read a little bit about Moses Austin to you. You might find him fascinating. Moses Austin was ruined. He had moved to Spanish Missouri after his lead mines in Virginia failed. He had found success in Missouri, befriending many Spanish officials. When Missouri became part of the United States, Austin's success had continued. He had even become a part owner of the Bank of St. Louis. But in 1819, his luck changed. An economic crisis created a depression. Many banks failed, including the Bank of St. Louis. Austin lost his entire fortune. What was he to do? Well, that Moses fella, he was a quite ingenious fella. He thought, why not settle Texas, right? Let's get a scheme going. He was broke. Moses was not defeated. He had profited once by moving into Spanish land, Missouri, and perhaps such a move will work again. Austin soon developed a plan to establish a colony. He thought, bring people from where America over here. Basically, he would organize a group of people to settle the land of Texas. But he would literally charge them the money because he would find them the land and find the area to settle in. That was the whole idea. And then get them there and get them to settle down. That way he could make some money off the deal. Well, it was a neat idea. He told his son, Stephen F. Austin was his son. He told his son about it. The son was, I don't know, too, if that's such a great idea. But he knew his dad was gung-ho about it. His dad went to see he went in December. Austin went to see, met with the Spanish governor, Antonio Maria Martinez. The governor, however, did not trust U.S. citizens. He ordered Austin out of the city. Yep, that's his first try. Well, however, a chance encounter changed the situation. In the city, Austin met the guy named Baron de Bastrop, a Dutch businessman. Now, he really wasn't a baron. He actually left because of some accusations against him. He left the Netherlands because of some accusations against him. But while on the run, he adopted a fake name, fake title, and he settled in San Antonio and became a very respected statesman, businessman. Austin told Bastrop about his colonization plan, and Bastrop liked it. So what did they do? Once again, they approached the governor. This time it was Bastrop there. I guess he had a good enough reputation with the governor to convince the governor to go for it. And so the governor went ahead together. The two men met with Martinez. They pointed out that Austin's colony would improve the Texas economy. His presence would also help protect the area from attacks by American Indians or U.S. soldiers. They also noted that Austin had become a Spanish citizen in Missouri and would be loyal to New Spain. Convinced, Martinez agreed to propose the plan to his superiors. So, satisfied, Austin returned to Missouri with wait news. In the spring of 1821, he learned the Spanish officials had agreed to his plan. Austin had their permission to sell 300 Catholic families from Louisiana and Texas. Before he could act on his plans, however, he passed away. He got ill and passed away. Stephen F. Austin took over because at 27, he learned of his father's death. He became determined to carry out his father's plan to bring U.S. settlers to Texas. He traveled to San Antonio de Bexar in 1821, August. Erasmo Seguin, a rancher, and the alcalde of the town led Austin to Governor Martinez. The Baron Bastrop was on hand to translate. Martinez offered to support Austin's efforts to fulfill his plans. And then, in the time since Moses Austin had received his contract, Mexico had won independence from Spanish rule. Therefore, Austin needed a new contract from the Mexican government, which is what he went after. Martinez agreed to help him get approval for that contract from officials in Mexico City, and therefore they went ahead and got the approval and started moving people there. So Austin spent the next few months exploring the land east of San Antonio. He was seeking a good location for his colony. In the end, he picked the rich farmland in the area of the Brazos and Colorado River Valley, some 11 million acres on the Gulf coastal plain. A colony there would have a mild climate, fertile soil, water, and plenty of timber. Wild game was also plentiful. In addition, the site was near the coast where settlers and supplies could arrive by ship. In his journal, he bragged about the area. Well, folks, he found the area, and that's when he started to bring people. When location chosen, Austin returned to the United States to prepare. From Louisiana, he sent a report to Governor Martinez. It specified this colony's proposed location, which included land along the Gulf River. In other words, what he had done is he went looking. Once he had proposed the plan, they agreed to it. He went and found a location. Once he found the location, he let them know we found the location. And what happens? Antonio's plan detailed how he initially intended to distribute land to his colonists, although these terms later changed. Each household would receive 640 acres of land. And so that was, along with a few other details, which we can talk about in the time, that was the start of the idea of bringing people from America to Texas. Stephen F. Austin, managed to help colonize the area, and that was the beginning of new things. And we can talk about that another time. Thank you.